the Christopher Ward C1 Jump Hour Mark 5. It's finally here, so what do I think about it? Christopher Ward has finally released a brand new jump hour. It is called the C1 Jump Hour Mark 5. The last jump hour Christopher Ward actually made was the Alliance 01 limited edition that they made in conjunction with Fears. And Fears have actually turned it into a product line. For example, we were just discussing, they've made the Mallard Green since, they've made the Raven Black jump hour, they've made the Coral, and most recently, the absolutely stunning Barleycorn Plum. As the name would suggest, being the Mark V, Christopher Ward has made 4 before their new one. So what's new about it? And is it any good? Well, if you're familiar with Fears jump hours, or any of Christopher Ward's previous jump hours, technically this watch won't really be a surprise to you. It is featuring the JJ01 movement, which, if you're familiar with it, it is a Sleater SW200-1 base with a jump hour module. I mean, it's even the same movement really as the Bel Canto uses, except the Bel Canto has some jiggery pokery that also makes it chime. So it's a movement we'll all be familiar with, but it is 4 Hz, has a power reserve of 38 hours, and has a timing tolerance of plus minus 20 seconds a day. But let's also bear in mind, this watch doesn't feature a seconds hand, so that timing tolerance really isn't going to be an issue. Staying on specs for a few minutes, case size 39mm, absolutely brilliant that. I'm very happy with 39mm case. Strap size 20mm, perfecto. I think 20mm, no one can complain about that on a 39mm watch. Perfect ratio, that.
I think it's perfect. Do you think it's perfect? There's probably 1 or 2 people down in the comments that will question it.
Case height is 14mm and the lug to lug is 47.3. Moreover, if we are talking about water resistance is not the strong suit of this watch. It is 380 m or 30 meters. It's pretty much in line with the Bel Canto and some of those other more high horology watches within Christopher Ward's collection. How does this watch differentiate itself from the Fears jump hour? Because it's going to have to do a little bit. We know that because
they look the same.
They look similar, but I think the differences really come out when you start looking closer at the dial. For example, you look at the imagery, and this dial is intricately layered. The hand is translucent. These beautiful concentric circles on the dial as well. The depth on the window, it looks like it's got this wonderful curve that goes down to the rest of the dial. It is so layered and there's so many elements that are sort of suspended in the dial. It looks entirely different, in my opinion, to the Fears. I mean, obviously it's got the same layout, but that's because it's the same movement and stuff. But moreover, it's also very different because this watch is loomed.
And the loom is fantastic.
The loom is fantastic. So it's got a fully loomed minute track. It's got a loomed hour window and a loomed minute hand. Despite the fact it's a jump hour, and also despite the water resistance of being only 30 meters, it's still a little bit sporty. Very interesting. So I really like that. This watch also features 2 dial colours. Those are Noon Blue and Dusk Gold. Both really, really muted. Both really nice. I'm sure there'll be more colours coming down the line. I would be shocked if there wasn't. But both of those look absolutely lovely. Now, before we get on to the last thing that's new about this watch, we'll do a little bit of the pricing. Terry, have you looked at the pricing?
I have not looked at the pricing.
Okay, so Christopher Ward jump hour with all of that one pretty dial and stuff. What do you reckon they're doing it for?
Well, it's kind of up there with their other 3 higher horology pieces, which are all sort of around the £3,000 to £4,000 mark. I'm going to guess £2,500.
On the fine Italian leather strap, because they are offering this on leather, it's $2,150. And on the consort bracelet, their lovely 5-link, it's $2,285.
I was close.
You were very close, but they've undercut you. Very competitive price, and I'm sure there'll be one or two other British watch brands that will be keeping an eye out on that, because that's aggressively priced.
I was expecting it to be higher, I'll be honest.
I was expecting it to be higher. I was expecting 2.5 to 3. So the fact they've come in under 2.5 by a good couple £100 is fairly significant. So, and it looks lovely. That dial is lovely and layered and detailed, and they haven't made it flat, and they've actually left off the Christopher Ward logo off the dial. But that is not without precedent. And that leads me on to my next point. So, Christopher Ward have, on the odd occasion, known to leave the logo off the dial and just have it on the crown as a signed crown. Other watches include the C1 Moon Phase, the Bel Canto, the Loco, and the 12X. What do all of those watches have in common, Terry? They're all sort of the higher horology, more creative, more wacky, more expensive pieces. Now, the last thing this watch does that's new, and people have been saying Christopher Ward should do it for a while, is differentiate between the more wacky, more high-end pieces like the Bel Canto, the Loco, the 12X, and now the C1 Jump Hour Mark V, and the sportier pieces that sort of come in at the entry or mid-range. And they're finally doing that differentiation with the Atellier collection. Apparently it's a showcase for Christopher Ward at its most ambitious. A showcase for in-house calibers, ingenious models, meticulous finishing, and absolute uncompromising creativity. I do think Christopher Ward does have enough pieces that are high-end in the collection now that just sort of makes the introduction of the Atelier collection make sense. Terry, what do you think about this watch?
I think it's exceptionally well priced.
Yeah.
I'll be open, I'm still having slight issues with its similarities to the Fears, and it'll probably take me a while to get over that until perhaps I see it face to face.
I think it is positioned as more sporty than the Fears. Fears is very dressy, it's a lot more sporty. And what do you think about its new position in the Atelier collection?
It's probably my least favourite. You know, I'm a big fan of the 12X.
Yeah, but it's also featured alongside the C1 Moon Phase and the C1 Moon Glow.
I like the Moon Glow. I don't think I like the Moon Phase. The Moon Glow is it's a little bit more masculine.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fair enough. I do like the smaller Moon Phase, the new 37mm they released. But yeah, I think the Atelier collection looks really strong.
I think it looks banging on a bracelet.
Oh yeah. This is a much anticipated return for Christopher Ward, and I like it. I would love to get hands-on with one because I've been hands-on with the Fears Jump Hours many times.
For me, it might be more like the Open Balance Flower. I was much more of a fan of it when I got hands-on with it.
But these are better pictures than they usually send.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call Christopher Ward out for their bad marketing images.
As much as I like your watches, as your marketing images are usually crap. For example, could not see the texture on the dial of the GMT Extreme. Just couldn't see it. So guys, I want to hear what you think of this new Jump Hour down in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How would you rate it? Let us know. And whilst you're down there, why not like, subscribe, ding that bell icon so you never miss another video, and why not click that join button to support the channel directly, just like everyone on screen did now, because they are the best people in the world and you are also amazing if you watch this far into the video. So thank you very much and watch yourselves.